At the edge of the forest, there lived two women, Morag and her daughter Ailsa. One day, Morag decided she wanted to make oatcakes. But these were no ordinary oatcakes. These oatcakes were made to a special recipe and needed the best water. So, Morag asked Ailsa to go and fetch her some water from the well at the world's end. Now, as you might have guessed, the well at the world's end takes some time to walk to. So Ailsa took the water jug and started on her way. She passed through the forest, over the mountains and down to the village. And then she walked some more. Eventually, Ailsa came to the well at the end of the world. She had walked for miles. She was tired and thirsty, and she was looking forward to a drink of water from the well. But the well was empty. Ailsa was so disappointed to have walked all this way for nothing that she sat by the side of the well and cried. As she sat there, a frog hopped over beside her and said, "What's the matter? What can I do to help?" "The well is empty," said Ailsa, "and I'm thirsty, and I'm supposed to bring a jug home for my mother to make oatcakes." "Water," said the frog. "Is that all? I can get you water, but you have to promise to do whatever I ask." "I promise," said Ailsa, right away, without even thinking about it. And just like that, the frog jumped into the well, and it filled right up to the brim with water. Ailsa took a long drink, filled up the jug with water, and walked back from the well at the world's end. She didn't notice the frog following along behind her the whole way. That night, as Morag made her oatcakes, there was a knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. "Who's that at the door?" said Morag. Ailsa looked out and saw it was the frog, and was suddenly worried about the promise she'd made. "It's just a frog, mother," said Ailsa. "Well, let the poor thing in," said Morag. "There's a storm coming." So Ailsa opened the door, and in came the frog. Hop, hop, hop. The frog looked right at Ailsa and kept staring. "The frog must be hungry," said Morag. "Give him some milk." Ailsa wanted the frog to leave, but she did what her mother asked. The frog drank up the milk. Slop, slop, slop. Morag went back to baking her oatcakes, and the frog looked straight at Ailsa again. And he said, "You made me a promise. You have to do what I ask. And what I want you to do is fetch the axe you used to chop the wood, and then chop off my head." Now, Ailsa thought this was a strange thing for the frog to ask, but she'd been expecting him to ask for a kiss, so actually, this was much better. "You really want me to chop off your head?" "That's my wish," said the frog. "You promised." Ailsa went and got the axe, and she held it up above the frog. Morag saw her and shouted, "Stop!" but it was too late. Chop, chop, chop. Now, suddenly, instead of a frog sitting on the floor, there was a handsome, well-dressed young man, a prince. "You broke the spell," said the prince. "I've sat by that well for years, waiting for someone who would welcome me into their home and keep their promise. What's your name?" "I'm Ailsa, and this is my mother Morag." "Well, Ailsa, will you marry me?" asked the prince. "Of course," said Ailsa, surprised and quite pleased at how the day had worked out. "Let's all celebrate with some oatcakes," said Morag. The oatcakes were delicious. It really had been a worthwhile walk to the well at the world's end.
عمل مشروع مشاركة القصص Sharing Stories بالتعاون مع المهاجرين الجدد إلى اسكتلندا في مقاطعة إنفركلايد لاستكشاف ومشاركة قصص شعبية تقليدية من سوريا والسودان واسكتلندا. ويدير المشروع الصندوق الاستئماني لتنمية المجتمع المحلي في إنفركلايد Inverclyde Community Development Trust، ويموله الصندوق الوطني لتراث اليانصيب National Lottery Heritage Fund. ويمكنكم أيضاً الاستماع لإصدارات مروية لهذه القصص باللغتين العربية والكردية على هذه القناة.